This video is sponsored by Borrow Lenses. So we're just at the start of spring, which means it's that wonderful time of the year for engagement sessions. Now, regardless of if you're a newer photographer or a seasoned photographer, engagement sessions are a great way to either build your portfolio or also connect with your couples. I always suggest doing engagement sessions, and having the perfect kit for your engagement sessions is extremely important. Now, again, if you are a starting photographer and looking to build your portfolio, I just partnered with Borrow Lenses to build my own kit that I suggest for using for engagement sessions. This kit includes gear that I use day in and day out in my own business, and I think it would be great for anyone starting a business or already in their own photography business as well. To check out the kit for yourself, make sure to check out the link in the description below. Now, again, if you're familiar with Borrow Lenses, it's a great way to rent cameras and lenses and other gear that you may not have yet. Now, if you're starting out, this is probably the best way to save yourself money while also building your portfolio. So instead of going and spending a couple $1,000s on a camera body and another $1,000 on a camera lens, how about rent your gear, get used to it while also building your portfolio? So let's talk about what I consider the perfect engagement session kit. So you all already know that I'm a huge fan of Fujifilm cameras, and this kit is going to be built off of the Fujifilm X-T5. Currently, it is the main camera that I'm using for weddings. However, for getting started, honestly, I think it's one of the best cameras that you can choose. Now, if you're a starting photographer, one thing that's really nice about the Fujifilm X-T5 or any of the other XT series is the fact that it has all the tactile knobs on the top, so you can easily start to learn your exposure triangle. Now, if you're not familiar with the exposure triangle, I have a video right up above that you can check out where I explain it, but having those dials on the top makes it much easier for you to see your ISO, your shutter speed, and then the aperture on the lens itself, and get used to changing your settings. Also, on top of the form factor of the camera, I absolutely love how small it is. An engagement session is a very low-key session where you're in control of the timing and the speed. Having a nice small camera on you that's not going to weigh you down, that's not going to intimidate your couple, since this is your first time shooting with them, is absolutely a huge must. The smaller form factor makes it feel like a film camera, which really sets the mood for your engagement session. And this is huge because you're building rapport with your couple before the wedding day, so everything about your engagement session needs to be smooth. Also, the new 40 megapixel sensor and all the resolution it's bringing to your photos is going to look great in your portfolio. So again, ease of use and the image quality is probably the highest reason why I would pick the X-T5. It's easy to use, it's small and light, and the photos look great. Also, I'll link up this other video right up above that you can check out where I explain why I choose Fujifilm. Moving right along, the next thing you need in your kit are going to be the lenses. Fujifilm has some absolutely amazing lenses, and the ones I currently use are my personal favorite. The main two lenses that you're really going to be using are the 23 f1.4 and the 33 f1.4. Hands down, some of the best lenses you can start with. So the 23 f1.4 hands down is going to be the most used in this kit. It gives you a full frame equivalent of a 35mm, which is probably one of the most used lenses. It has a very middle ground focal length so that you can see your surroundings but also be close enough to your subject. Typically, it's used for lifestyle stuff, which is why it fits so well for engagement sessions. Honestly, out of all the pictures I've ever taken, the 23 is probably my favorite to use. The 1.4 is going to let in a lot of light and also give you a nice shallow background. And then when you want to get a little bit closer and get more blurry background, that's where the 33 f1.4 comes in. So for full frame equivalent, the 33 is about a 50mm, and honestly, this is about the same focal length that you're seeing out of your own eye. I love to use this for close-up, portraits, and also just close-ups of anything like the rings or their hands or anything just like that. When you pair them together, the 23 and 33 gives you a great look to all your photos. 23 for things that are a little bit more wide and more contextual, and then the 33 for closer up. The third lens in this kit is the 56 f1.2, which is hands down one of the best lenses. Now, the 56 is more of an 85 full frame equivalent. This is what you're going to use for your tight portraits and totally blown out backgrounds. Generally, I use this lens less than all the other lenses, but honestly, like, when you want that just crispy, creamy background, like, that's when you break out the 56. And since it's such a long lens, you'll be standing away from your couple, so you can let them have a moment to themselves, kind of play around and have fun, and just shoot your photos from behind. Keep in mind too, with longer focal lenses, you're getting a lot of compression. That means the background starts looking bigger. So it's really cool to just look at your background, blow it out, and just make everything look big. The 56 is a great lens for that. So we have our X-T5 and our 3 lenses. Again, the 23 and 33 are probably going to be the ones used most, and the 56 is just for a nice, tight portrait. After that, clearly you'll need a good SD card. Now, I've been a big fan of SanDisk SD cards for a long time, and it's what I generally always use. When picking your SD cards, make sure to use a 170 megabytes per second or 300 megabytes per second card. Now, these can be pricey, which is why it's included in this kit, because it is much cheaper to rent this SD card. I own a couple of the 300 megabytes per second myself for my GFX 100S, and I actually lost one at one point, which was the worst. But with the 40 megapixel files, you need to know that you're going to get the transfer speed you need of those raw files. When you're shooting consistently, more buffer is what you need. So the higher the speed, the quicker it's going to take those photos and not buffer too soon. And then one accessory that I always love to bring with me to engagement sessions and weddings is some type of LED light. LED lights are a great way to add a little extra light when you need it. You can either fill shadows with it so that your couple's not totally in the shade, or you can use it for things like sparkler exits. Generally, you want some type of LED light that you can put on the hot shoe of your camera. This way the light is going to be directly at your subject, and also it won't get in the way of shooting. However, if you have an assistant or a friend who's hanging out with you, they can also hold the light for you. I've gotten amazing results from using small LED lights just like this. Once you have all these tools in your kit, you're going to be able to make amazing engagement photos. Again, I've been shooting with Fujifilm now for about 4 to 5 years, and I highly recommend it for anyone, especially starting photographers. It may not be the thing that you see most often. Everyone's always talking about Canon or Sony, but trust me, you're going to love Fujifilm, and especially the way the photos look coming straight out of the camera is just absolutely amazing. That will make your job easier because if you don't feel like editing or you feel you don't have a good editing style, just rely on what's coming directly out of the camera. And again, if you're new to photography, one thing that I did when I started to help build my portfolio was shoot mainly only engagement sessions. By doing this guaranteed I got great photos, but also got the door open for me to possibly book weddings. Once you get 1 or 2 couples who want to do a wedding with you because they liked working with you at the engagement session, next thing you know, you'll be shooting weddings all the time. Let me know what you think of this kit and if you would use it for engagement sessions yourself. Also, don't forget to use the link in the description and the code John Branch for 20% off of your first order from Borrow Lenses. Again, I've been renting with them for years and I absolutely love it. I actually just rented another GFX 100S recently from them to do a comparison video. And since we're talking about engagement sessions, definitely make sure to check out this engagement session here that will help you learn more about taking engagement photos.